Dear participants, as it was introduced, I'm basically a teacher. As a teacher, I take the privilege of wishing you all a happy Teachers' Day, as we have recently celebrated. For the last 1 week or so, wherever we go, people talk about Teachers' Day and wish all of us wholeheartedly. Keeping that point in mind, I will be talking to you. Is it visible now? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Slide is not visible.
Visible, sir. Slide is visible.
Slide is visible, sir.
Slide is visible.
Slide ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್. I request one of the participants, please reply. Okay. Log out. ಇದೆ.
Log out ಆದ್ನಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಲಿಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್. ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್, ಮತ್ತೆ PPT ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಅದು 2 ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಒಂದು ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್,
ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್.
ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ.
ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಹೀಗೆ
ಕಾಣ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಸ್ಲೈಡ್
ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ಸಾಕು ಸರ್, ಈ ಇರಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
If it is visible, I will continue with this.
Yes sir, good sir.
Okay, please.
PPT ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ PPT?
Yes sir.
Please.
It's enough sir.
ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಕಾಣಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ that confusion. I am starting with this. If the slides are visible, I will go ahead like this. I was asked to talk to you on the topic. Is it moving now?
Yes sir, moving sir. Yes.
Yes. Soft skills. An introduction to soft skill, as this session happens to be a soft skill focused session for you for the 1 week or 10 days program. I will be giving a brief introduction to the topic soft skills, and in that connection, I'll just make an attempt to highlight the significance of soft skills for both the teachers and the students. Originally, as teachers, we have the responsibility of molding the personalities of our students more than just teaching the subject that was assigned to us. As I started talking to you in the beginning, we are all thrilled to hear the wishes given by people from all corners on the Teachers' Day. Most of the people were so sincere and so delighted to wish their teachers. The reason is simple. This is the profession that is concerned with building a healthy and wealthy, responsible society. In the society, the teachers are considered as the most prominent pillars, and all the qualities of a community reflects the qualities of the teachers in that community. As a point of that, you will be knowing we are all in the field of education. Education is basically concerned with building human character and capabilities that enables the realization of full potential of oneself and the civilization. Education is for transformation. Education is the force that drives free people from darkness towards light. Education is something that makes people to move from fear to confidence. I and you are being the players in the field of education, need to understand the significance of what we are doing irrespective of the core subject or the discipline that we are teaching. I have a clear understanding that I am talking to a group of young teachers drawn from different disciplines like arts, science, commerce, law, education, and other allied subjects. Ultimately, our objective is to create responsible citizens who can take the leadership either in the society or in the industry or in the community wherever they work in different capacities. Therefore, we need to understand in the broader perspective what is our basic responsibility and what is the outcome that we are supposed to generate through this act of ours with which we are engaged for making a livelihood. I'm very humble in saying this. We are making a livelihood in this field and we have the responsibility of delivering more than what is assigned to us as to teach through the syllabi. Therefore, basically, education is concerned with building human character and capabilities that enables the realization of every student's full potential and finally to build a responsible civilization. Hence, you can understand education is equal to character plus capability. Education is to provide an induction into a balanced, inclusive, and comprehensive worldview that will serve a cause, including but beyond personal self. It is to explain the objective of education. The objective of education is to give a comprehensive worldview before the students and make them a complete person, make them to be independent, make them to be confident of facing the realities of life. Before I take you towards the topic soft skills, I thought it would be appropriate for all of us to keep in mind what is the expected outcome of education. As I already mentioned, the objective of education is to build character and capability. Character is something that makes the person, it is more of personality, and capability makes the person to be confident to rise to the occasion and discharge the duties and responsibilities expected from him by his employer, by his masters effectively. For that purpose, you will be knowing if anybody does any good thing or bad thing, ultimately it is the education and the educators, that is I and you, who are made responsible for that. Therefore, first we should know what is the outcome that we expect from any sort of education, any degree, or any combination of the courses that we teach. I will just run through, take the liberty to question me, cross-question me at any point of time. The objective of this is ultimately to pick up something that is useful for making our careers meaningful. As I have listed, the expected outcomes of any education program, whether it is science, arts, commerce, ultimately is to develop an integrated social and academic maturity in the individual. See, at first instance, it is to develop an integrated maturity, both from the socio and academic point of view. Academic point of maturity comes out of reading books, listening to lectures, or engaging in research in the field that we have chosen. That comes out of that. But social maturity comes out of exposure, experience, interaction, and thinking beyond the curriculum that is given to us. Second thing is to develop and instill curiosity and originality in thinking. The objective of education is to make people thinkers, original thinkers, creative thinkers. Original thinking and creative thinking will come only out of curiosity. At the first instance, education must instill students that curiosity will make them to think, and that thinking will make them to come out with questions. Any education that fails to generate questions in the minds of the student is a waste. is a meaningless exercise. Therefore, to make our students to be competent, to make our students to engage in self-thinking and come out of with something new in their mind and in their life, it is necessary to instill curiosity. That curiosity will make them to be thinkers. Followed by that, to inculcate the habit of lifelong learning through planning and prioritization of what to learn first and what is relevant for me, where to get that information, something like that. Therefore, the objective of education is also to make people to cultivate the habit of lifelong learning. People will realize the importance of lifelong learning only when they think that what they know is little and what they have to know is abundant. When they respect the unknown thing, they will go in search of it. That makes every one of us to be lifelong learners. Followed by that, developing flexibility and creativity in problem solving. Believe me, education is a means for solving different types of problems in the reality of life. In the real world situation, unless our education helps us to get out of those problems may be of different character types and they may be in plenty in number. Irrespective of the type of the problem, irrespective of the nature of the problem, if we are capable of handling them, then only we deserve to be called educated. And our objective in the classroom is also to make our students to emerge as the problem solvers. It is not to make them to be problem creators. It is to make them to solve the problems. Hence, education is aiming at giving an outcome of developing the skill of problem solving. Next, it is to develop interpersonal skills, to develop, maintain, and value relationships. You will be knowing today's education to a greater extent makes people islands, makes people self-centered, makes people to believe that whatever they know is everything. It is because of the narrowness and the self-centered approach to education that makes them to be incompetent to be comfortable in the company of others. Most of our students may be very intelligent, very hardworking, but still unable to be in the company of others. They feel discomfort if there is a stranger, if there is a newcomer, if there are people more than the number that they expect. That makes them to be gullible and that makes them not to present or demonstrate their real talent in front of them because of their inability to develop and maintain good relationship. You will be knowing developing relationship is the biggest task. And after developing, maintaining that relationship is a challenge. In order to maintain good relation, we need to teach people certain skills that makes them to be comfortable in understanding, in building and maintaining a valuable relationship with the fellow colleagues, fellow human beings, fellow members of the society. You must be knowing, needless to elaborate, these days, people are finding it as a tough task to be in the company of others. Am I reaching? Kelsta idea? Am I reaching? Yararu reply ಮಾಡಿ?
Yes, sir. You are
Yes.
audible.
Kelsta ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Yes, sir. Audible and audible, sir.
I think that's great. That's great. I believe if there are any non-Kannada students, don't mistake me. You can raise questions whenever I speak in vernacular so that I will translate whatever I have spoken to my other colleagues. As I was telling, today, most of our youngsters, however intelligent they are not comfortable in handling the group where they are supposed to work. They cannot be good team workers. They cannot be good members of the community. And even the family life has become a little challenging task for our present day generation because most of them are exposed to nuclear families and joint Hindu families are historical perspectives for the present youngsters, and they cannot find comfort in interacting with more than 2-3 persons even in the family. Therefore, it is necessary to teach them something related to interpersonal skill and make them to be comfortable while talking to others, maybe strangers, maybe relatives, maybe colleagues, maybe subordinates, maybe the supporting staff and things like that. Therefore, it is necessary to develop interpersonal skills. Followed by that, it is to practice continuous improvement, high resilience in life. Life has become highly complicated these days. No doubt, the scientific advancements happened around us, made our life comfortable. Mobile phone, computers, artificial intelligence has made our life very, very comfortable on the one side. On the other side, these gadgets themselves have created unforeseen crises and unforeseen difficulties for most of us who may not be able to handle them properly. Unless we handle the machines properly, machines will start handling us. There is a concept like machine learning. Machine learning is a tool or a software, but it is not the machines that are made to learn about us. At one point of time, we need to learn how the machines are going to handle us. Today, we have become toys in the hands of machines, and machines will predict our likes and dislikes. Machines will think how I am going to react for a different situation. This is known fact to all of you. On the mobile, when you search for something on a particular website, immediately after a few seconds or few minutes, the related type of products, related type of content will appear before you because the machine has learned what is your choice, what do you like, and things like that. If this tendency continues, at one point of time, man will become the slave of the machines and machines will control all of us. Before that happens to us, we need to teach our students, we need to learn ourselves to handle the movements, achieving our purpose and to remain as the masters of the gadgets and not to become the slaves for these gadgets. More than anything, education is developing effective communication skill among the students, both the teacher and the taught. There must be a difference between the communication pattern and the communication style of an educated person and an uneducated person. That is what makes us to be really identified or called or justify ourselves as educated ones. But today, in reality, that visibility is not true. Many a time, it is the educated people who speak words, who speak much lower grade words and vocabulary when compared to the obedient illiterates. There is a difference between literacy and graduation. And what we expect from the education in different fields is a certain quality that makes them to justify the degree that they are getting from the universities and the colleges. That is the reason the NEP 2020 has given a definition as graduate attributes. What we expect from every graduate who is getting a degree from our universities must present certain minimum characteristics to justify that he is a graduate of that particular discipline or program. Say, for instance, whether you are a science graduate, commerce graduate, or arts or any other discipline or any other faculty, you must demonstrate certain minimum characters to defend the certificate that you have received as a graduate. What are those attributes that we normally expect from any graduate? At the first instance, a deep knowledge of subject in the program that he or she has successfully completed. Say, for instance, a science graduate must demonstrate a minimum scientific temperament in all his actions, in all his words, reactions, and personality. And a commerce graduate must be an evidence for his economic, commerce, and business-oriented thinking in his activities and mindset. Same is the case with that of a journalism student, with a philosophy student, with an art student, with a sociology student. Therefore, a deep knowledge of the subject in the program successfully completed is what expected. And the capacity to engage in self-reflection and lifelong learning in the field he or she chosen. Transferable skills suitable for employment. Whatever the degree that you have got, in that degree, no doubt, the syllabus is framed in such a way to prepare you to occupy certain positions. The knowledge that you have gained inside the classroom must be worth transforming or using or applying them at the working place. Then only you are justified as a graduate. Then only the person can be called as a graduate. When there is a challenge to prepare a book of account, unless a commerce student who is standing there is capable of helping preparing that book of account, his degree has no meaning. Just like that, where there is an automobile engineer, if there is a problem with an automobile motor or an automobile vehicle, if he or she is not capable of identifying or suggesting a solution for the problem in that equipment or at that situation, the degree he or she has obtained is meaningless. Just like that, a philosopher, a sociology, or an economics graduate is expected to transfer the skills and the knowledge that he or she has acquired into reality, into practical problem solving. At this point of time, I must tell you, though it is out of the context, you will be knowing as teachers in the field of education, what we are expected to deliver to students is three most important elements. You will be knowing, I'm not going to elaborate. Any academic program must give students three things. One is the knowledge, other one is the attitude, third one is the skill. Knowledge is called the cognitive ability, the thinking ability, information to the mind, whereas attitude is the empathy, apathy, not empathy simply, the apathy, the state of mind towards something. Say, for instance, if you are preparing an economic student, first, knowledge speaks about the different theories, different concepts of economics. And attitude is the ability of that individual to relate that knowledge towards a particular problem and to recognize that either as favorable, unfavorable, positive, or negative. Attitude is made up of three things. Again, it is also made up of emotional component, action component, and knowledge component. Therefore, any academic program at the first instance must deliver knowledge plus attitude, and the third thing is the skill. Skill is the ability of an individual to apply the knowledge for solving the practical problem. It is the application of what we know. Therefore, here my point is to say that transferability of skill for employment is the most important thing. Many a time, our young graduates are not capable of applying their talent to solve the day-to-day problems in the working place. That's the reason the employers will say that today's graduates are not employable. It was somewhere in 1995, a great entrepreneur and an industrialist of India who said 85% of the graduates coming out of universities are unemployable. They are unemployable because they don't know how to use the knowledge they have acquired inside the classroom into the working place. Many employers call our management graduates as classroom executives. It is to say that you may be an excellent student inside of the class, a gold medalist or a rank holder in academics, but when it comes to practicals, you are zero. They call us classroom executives. Therefore, graduates of universities and professors of the universities and colleges are also considered as people sitting in the ivory tower and who don't know the reality. To make our students to understand the reality, we must keep in mind there must be transferability of the skills to job. That is what justifies the graduate attributes of any individual who is getting a certificate, maybe from the discipline of his choice. Followed by that, every graduate must have the capacity to take up social and economic responsibilities relating to the environment and the society. This is another most important thing. A graduate to be called or to be deserved as a graduate must have the capacity to work for the protection of the environment and to take the civic and social responsibilities. It is unfortunate that as we are becoming irresponsible, we won't bother about our civic responsibilities. We won't worry about the problems that we face in a day-to-day life. Skills, skills need not be all the time concerned with handling a machine or handling a device. It's not necessarily something connected with driving, swimming, things like that. Even in life, we need to apply certain skills which will solve many problems. I was reading on the other day, skills are not necessarily to be taught at the higher education level. From primary school itself, we were made to learn certain skills, but sometimes we fail to remember, we fail to apply them to our day-to-day life. Just to recall an incident in our primary schools, after the assembly session in the early morning, before we reach to the classrooms, our teachers used to ask us to go in a queue. When we go in a queue, that indicates that the person who is before me must go front and I am behind him and somebody is behind me. And all of us should proceed further in an order, in a sequence. And it is the teacher who taught us, the moment you have settled in the class, when the teacher comes, you need to acknowledge the entry of the teacher by rising from your seat and if possible to salute your teacher by saying good morning. Just remember these two things. The person becomes an elder if the person becomes a matured adult, if he are the simple things that were taught to us by our primary schools, we can avoid many things. We can avoid many conflicts, many confusion, crisis. Today, people don't know how to start a communication, how to talk to people, how to understand the emotions, sentiments of the people who are sitting next to them or opposite to them. And forgetting the need for following the discipline like being in a queue. If we follow the discipline, many a time road accidents can be avoided. Discipline need not be only for office environment or classroom environment. By forgetting our responsibility to be disciplined on the road, we become the cause or we become the victims of the road accidents. At the same time, maintaining silence, maintaining cleanliness is also something that was taught to us by our teachers in the primary schools itself. But unfortunately, we have to speak about this at the highest level of education about cleanliness, clean India, Swachh Bharat, that these and all. Why it's happening? It's happening because our learned people, educated people are not building the capacity to take up social, civic responsibilities relating to environment and the society. If you have any queries, any comments to make, feel free. You can do so at any point of time. Followed by that, a deep understanding of and respect for diversity, pluralistic society, and other cultures. This is another most important thing that we need to teach through the subject that we are teaching in the classroom. There is a need to develop our youngsters with a sense of diversity, pluralistic approach to life. All sorts of people will be there in the society. That too in India, the greatness is unity in diversity. Unity in diversity is to remind us that we are blessed with an environment where there are people belonging to more than 1.5 dozen religion, more than 2,000 languages, and a varied culture. At every 15 kilometers distance, you can find variation in the accent, in the way of life, and totally cultural differences. Such a vast country with so much of diversity. The present day problem is to live with this pluralistic form of society. People started quarreling. Every day in and day out, there will be unrest. There will be problems that are not at all worth considering for discussions, debates. This is because the so-called educated people are unable to realize their responsibility towards the society. Wherever you go, either in the name of religion or in the name of language or in the name of unwanted things, there will be unrest, conflict. These conflicts can be avoided only when we make our people to learn the skill of living in a diverse society. There will be all sorts of people. There is no rule to believe that everybody must be like me. And there is no rule to expect that everybody must like me. Reality is different. So therefore, skills includes this patience, tolerance, ability to mingle with all sorts of people without losing our identity and personality is also part of education. I want to acknowledge this through graduate attributes that youngsters must be taught about the significance of cultural diversity, pluralistic society, and respect for others. In simple words, what is missing in today's youth is the concept of empathy. Empathy means ability to understand the emotions and feelings of others. If you are capable of understanding the psychological actions and reactions happening in a person to whom you are talking, you can be an effective speaker, you can be an effective administrator, you can be an effective teacher or a student. But many a time, we don't worry about the others' feelings. All the time we think what I think is ultimate, what I feel is everything, and we don't respect the emotions of others. Therefore, interpersonal skill is one most important skill that can be a part of our discussion and debates for the ensuing days under the heading soft skills. Further, there must be an adherence to the highest standards of ethical behavior. Ethics. It's fine. What is ethics in these days? Because if you go on talking about ethics, people will suspect. There are here and there comments that one who speaks a lot about ethics is the one who is unethical. But as teachers, we cannot listen to all these comments. We need to speak about this. We need to advise. We need to suggest. Advising and suggesting is not a sin as long as we are on the right track and we deserve to be there and we have that credibility of advising others. In my opinion, every teacher is a leader. Every teacher must act as a philosopher. Every teacher must work like the custodian of the society. Every teacher's role is more of a social reformer than that of a person who is appointed for delivering few lectures. I am the one many a time says, our job will not become complete just by delivering a talk on the topic given to us. We have the moral obligation to mold the personalities of the people and to prepare the responsible citizens for the country that we love. In that score, all the time, we need to speak about what is ethical, what is unethical, and things like that. To understand ethical and unethical issues, you need not have to go for voluminous talks or the scripts to read. Just imagine if, as you are thinking, what will happen to you? You are doing something to somebody. If the same thing is done to you, how will you respond? You are insulting, humiliating somebody. If the same thing is done to you, how do you feel? If we ask these questions and the person is capable of answering them sincerely and effectively, naturally, everything is going to be ethical. Therefore, a graduate must be capable of practicing and propagating ethical behavior in the society wherever he or she is. Today, education is not only for enriching knowledge. Education is not only for getting degree. About 90% of the students who come to colleges and the universities for listening to our lecture, they are coming with an intention of earning some capabilities that will help them later on to make a livelihood. In simple words, majority of them think that the degree that they are getting will give them a job, an employment. There is a popular saying, any education that does not help us to earn our bread and butter is a waste. We need to keep in mind at the same time that what we are teaching, what our students are learning, must also facilitate them to get a livelihood. For that purpose, we need to look at the job market, the employer's expectations, what the employers are looking from us and our students. What they are looking and what they expect in every graduate can be called employability skill. I am making it very simple. If there are any confusion so far, please feel free to ask questions. I can make out you started talking amongst yourself. Even in the online classes, if this is the case, in the offline classes, we can hold it comfortably. Online class, I don't know whether all of you are listening to me or not. Please, if you have any queries, you can ask me questions. Employability skills are the skills that are essential to get a job, because employers normally look for this type of skills in the prospective employee or an applicant. Most importantly, communication and interpersonal skill, problem solving skill, self-motivation. Self-motivation means don't expect somebody to inspire you. Don't expect somebody to appreciate you all the time for doing something. Be your own boss. Be your own motivator. Let there be for you to do anything. That is what self-motivation. And another thing is working under pressure and deadlines. Working under pressure and deadline, is concerned with stress management, ability to handle stress. Our present day students, they are not used to this. They are all most of the students are born with comforts and conveniences. Adversities are not known to them. Many people don't know how to address a risk. Therefore, employers many a time look for people who can work under pressure, who can handle their personal risk in such a way that it will not hamper their capability of discharging duties in the working place. Therefore, employability skill includes working under pressure and deadlines. Organizational skill. Organizational skill is the ability to assemble the scattered things and the people for a cause, for a purpose. It is the most important leadership quality. Organizing is a leadership quality. We need to inculcate this skill amongst our students, and at first we need to inculcate ourselves this quality, organizational skill. Team spirit. You will be knowing many a time we cannot achieve everything through our individual efforts. No individual is capable of doing everything he or she likes. We need the support of somebody. There comes the importance of teamwork. Unless we are capable of working in teams, we cannot achieve big things in life or in business or in the workplace. Therefore, we need to teach our students something related to team spirit. Ability to learn and adapt. This is another most important thing. Ability to learn and adapt. Don't think you are all teachers and you know everything. There is no need of further learning. The objective of sessions like this is to make us to realize that there are n number of unknown things for us that are essential and sometimes very basic for our survival and the discharging of our duties effectively. People must all the time keep their eyes and ears open for the new things. You will be knowing what made Japanese great is a philosophy called Kaizen. Kaizen means change for betterment. That change for betterment makes people to learn throughout their life, because everything will become outdated, redundant as the time lapses. Nothing remains new forever. In order to learn the new things, we must keep an open mind, an open eye to look at the new things, accept the new things with all dedication, so that you will become updated. Unless you are updated, people and the society will throw you out. Believe me, if you tell the same thing again and again to your own students, your students will become your enemies. Try to say something new, something relevant, something updated. That's what I wanted to convey through this. Numeracy. Dealing with numbers is also one of the most important skill. Not necessary that you must be good in mathematics or statistics all the time, unless that is the essential thing for your job. But dealing with number is compulsorily required. At least you need to remember the dates, number, figures of everything. Therefore, dealing with number many a time reflects as an indicator of your intelligence. Develop numerical ability. Working with the diversity, I already mentioned that, but still we need to learn to work with the diversity in different capacities. All the time you cannot be the master, all the time you cannot be the teacher. And in front of me today, you are a student, you are sitting on the other side, but one who has the open mind to be anything at the appropriate time based on the need of the hour, he or she will succeed in everything that they do. Therefore, working with the diversity is one of the most important things, and followed by that, negotiation skill. Negotiation skill means next time you need to bargain. You will get what you bargain, but bargaining should not become the main focus. But unless you bargain, people will not give anything. You must bargain legally, you must bargain authentically, you must bargain relevantly. That makes you educated, sensible person. And with this, you will be knowing, have the responsibility of preparing our students for the new era. We are all in the new era, and that era is called the present era is the knowledge era, wherein we need to prepare our students to get employed in the light of the changes that are happening. As a teacher, in order to prepare them to be capable of becoming a match or a fit with the reality, you need to understand the present day students who are sitting before you. Just to break the monotony, as I have been talking to you for quite a long time, if I ask you a question to describe in one or two sentences the characteristics of your present day students, how do you describe your present students precisely based on their nature? One or two can respond so that we can go further. What is your understanding of the capability, nature, capacity, etc. of the present day students? Am I audible? Did you got the question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I expect one or two to respond to the question. What is your understanding of your students? If anybody asks you to describe your student, how do you describe them?
Sir, repeat the question, sir.
Question is, if I ask you to describe your students in one or two sentences, say for instance, you describe the people as good, intelligent, weak, hardworking, honest, sincere, etc., etc. Because you are talking to your students. Unless you know the nature of the audience, unless you know the quality of the people who are listening to you, you cannot become effective. You cannot reach out to them properly. If the question is, what is your understanding of your students?
So I would like to put in here, saying that, when I definitely interact with students, what I feel is the children are creative. They have a quest for learning, and their major concern is that we need to get down to their level of understanding, so that the child understands what you're trying to tell them, and keep them in your loop, so that they listen to what you say and make the lecture interesting. That is what.
I like it. I appreciate. Any more character? Any more description of your students?
Like I will describe them as continuous learners. They will be observing everything inside the classroom, outside. So they are the continuous learners.
Excellent. Excellent.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, please. Anything
Sir,
more?
they are looks like open books, sir, because we teach rural students. They are an open book and they are ready to get what we are going to give them.
Okay. Any more? Any
They
more?
are always
They are
wanting to
comfortable,
know something more, sir. Something updated.
They always want to get something updated. Wonderful. Wonderful. Anything more?
Sir, they
they
are
are very
digitally
comfortable
well
with
versed.
technology also.
Yes. Somebody said they are
They are
digitally.
comfortable with technology
Yes,
and
sir.
have a lot of open sources and other
They have digitally well
digital
versed, sir.
sources.
Yes. Yes, you are true. You are right. You are right. Okay. It's good. I'm happy to listen to this most appropriate answers from you. I have made a list of characteristics of the present day students. I don't know which are the characters that are acceptable to you and which you may not like. If you don't like some of them, you can get back to me and you can make comments. As I have noted, the present day students, they are intelligent, technically, they are competent, they are tech savvy. But when it comes to their interpersonal skills, it is not that well developed. Interpersonal skills.
And they have also lack of emotional intelligence, sir.
Yes, lack of emotional intelligence. They don't know how to respond, how to react, and when to react. If they think they are right, they won't bother what will be the implications, they will speak. There comes the question of interpersonal skills and emotional intelligence.
They can't take no for an answer, sir.
Yes, yes, you are right.
Maybe because they are too much involved in the mobile and Those
Yes.
things. They
Yes.
lack social interactions.
They lack social interaction. That is the reason a new concept has been introduced like social fitness. They may be social thing because one of the reasons is also COVID-19. During COVID-19, in the name of precautions, we were all taught something related to isolation, keeping ourselves away from people. That made most of our children to enjoy too much of privacy. They are comfortable when they are in privacy, alone they are happy, but if there is a group, if there is a gathering, they don't feel so thrilled or engaged as we people used to do at that age. That concept today is called the social fitness. There is a need to develop social fitness among the youngsters and make them to be comfortable in the company of all sorts of people. If it is inevitable, you need to educated, uneducated, urban, rural, young, old, things like that, because life is having that diversity. It's a mixture of everything. But today's generation is not comfortable with that. As a result, they will get frustrated, disappointed, and subject to lot many psychological disturbances. To help them overcome this, we need to teach them soft skills. We need to teach them soft skills. Their computer skills are strong, much stronger than their teachers. Mobile skills, needless to say. They are skill oriented. They are skeptical and desensitized about many things happening around them. They are not bothered about what's happening in politics, what's happening in the society, what's happening internationally. They are not bothered. Sometimes they don't know the basics of the economy, basics of the society, because they think it is not related to me. They may be very good in their subject. They may be high scorers having secured 100% marks, may not be knowing something that is very essential for a civilized citizen of the country. Skeptical and desensitized. They enjoy multitasking. Inside the class, they pretend as if they are listening to your lecture and engaged on the mobile phone. And I have noticed many teachers also online doing the same thing, as if they are listening to my lecture. I have noted on the video, some of them are busy with doing other than or along with listening, multitasking, along with listening.
Yes, sir.
They feel comfortable in challenging others. This is another important thing. They can question anybody, they can challenge anybody, unmindful of the consequences of such an act. They feel comfortable. They have high expectations about themselves. And then this attitude will go to families also. They want too much of privacy. They want too much of respect. They want too much of caring. If that is not available, they will immediately get disappointed, and that leads to frustration and a sort of suicidal tendency. In the working place, what's happening? They are not sticking on to any particular job. Job hopping and jumping from job to job has become common these days, because if something is not working, they will say bye-bye. If something is not happier, they will leave it there itself. That also reflects in their attitude towards relationships. The increased number of divorces is also because of this attitude. They don't like to compromise. They don't like to listen to the version of the other person, and they cannot empathize. That's the problem. I don't know whether you agree with me or not. And their negotiating skill is excellent. They negotiate for everything. The first thing that they do is to bargain. Don't do that, don't do this, extend the date, better not to have it today, something like that. Their negotiation skills are very high. With this background, we need to prepare our students for the next generation of the industry and life. You will be knowing presently, we are all working with Industrial Revolution 4.0 and its properties, and Industrial Revolution 4.5 is going to happen very shortly. Industrial Revolution 4.0 made our life highly digitized. In this digitized world, the principle is not to learn at school and to do at work. Now, it is concerned with upskilling, reskilling, and lifelong learning is going to be the future way of life. Nobody can claim that I am competent. Say, for instance, most of you might have worked for 10 years, 15 years as teachers, and I have worked for 35 years as a teacher in the university. But still, every day after the class, I feel shortage of something, shortage of the content. And I look for another better method of saying the same thing to reach out to my audience, because nothing is complete. That is what the reality. Given the situation, we need to prepare our students to face the challenges both in life, business, industry, and the society. A list of skills required for the future was given some 5 years back. These are the skills listed as essential skills by the World Economic Forum, aiming 2025 as the target year. Already we have completed a greater portion of 2025. We are going to be the next expected level. 5 years back, what are the expected skills that were anticipated as essential for the youngsters to face the reality of 2025? Analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies, complex problem solving ability, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality and initiative taking, leadership and social influencing skill, use of technology, monitoring and controlling skill, technology design and programming skill, resilience, stress tolerance and flexibility, reasoning, problem solving and ideation as the most important skill. After saying all this, I will just make a formal attempt to tell you what are the skills are. Because, as I told you, academics is aiming at imparting 3 things: knowledge, attitude, and skill. And I am asked to interact with you on soft skills. In order to tell you what are soft skills, first it is necessary to understand something about skill. Skill is the ability to use one's own knowledge effectively and readily to do something. It is the dexterity to execute the learned physical task. What we have learned, what we have acquired as knowledge, that must be used for solving a problem. Your ability to use that knowledge practically for solving a problem, for creating something, for doing something, for discharging something can be called skill. A skill is a learned power to do something effectively. It is the carry out a task with predetermined goals within a given time and energy. Within a given time and energy. It is the capacity to do something. It is the capacity to do something. Therefore, here, skills, skills are of 2 types. Basically, for our convenience, we have grouped them as hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills are related to any specific task. They are usually easily quantifiable. They tend to be knowledge-based, such as proficiency in a subject, certification and technical skills, software, graphic design, programming are some of the hard skills. Say, for instance, if you are an engineer, automobile engineer, you have a certificate to say that you are an automobile engineer. Your ability to repair or to create an automobile equipment or an automobile is called hard skills. Soft skills are the personal attributes of an individual that makes the
भूखते
person
थक गए हैं अब हम
confident.
भुला भी गए हैं कि यहाँ कोई लॉकर है
Please. Soft skills are the personal attributes of an individual that makes the person confident and competent to do a given task effectively. Soft skills are characterizes how a person interacts in his or her relationship with others. Basically, soft skills are concerned with developing and maintaining human relations. Soft skills are concerned with the environment, the society, the communities, and communication at large. Soft skills are the cluster of personality traits. Personality depicts the whole psychophysical characteristics of an individual. You will be knowing personality is made up of two things. One is the physical makeup, other one is the psychological makeup. Soft skills are the indicators of an individual's personality. It speaks about the social graces, facility with a language, personal habit, friendliness, optimism that makes individuals to be different from others. Your ability to be comfortable with the strangers, your ability to understand the crisis, your ability to predict the risk, your ability to communicate effectively, your ability to sustain the tension, stress, and to handle them effectively is a part of your soft skill. Soft skill is a personal attribute that supports situational awareness and enhances an individual's ability to get a job done. In order to get a job done, what are all the skills that are needed that can be called soft skills? You will be knowing there are several types of skills. I will just mention because throughout the session, you are going to listen to different lectures related to this. The skills includes motor skills, technical skill, interpersonal skill, social skills, analytical skills, problem solving skills, organizational skills, and leadership skills. Look here, soft skills includes all this. I'm just making an attempt to mention because elaborate discussion can happen later on in specific lecture classes. Soft skills includes leadership, conflict management ability, decision making, time management, stress management, communication skill, interpersonal skill, and public speaking. All these are aiming at making the individual a socially competent person. A socially competent person is one who has the strong social skills. Strong social skills includes 4 basic skills. First one is the communication skill. Please, 2 persons cannot speak continuously, right? Either I have to speak or you have to speak. Those who are speaking can mute their phone so that it will avoid a distraction. Otherwise, our communication will become ineffective. This is also a part of soft skill. When somebody is speaking, either we must listen or stop listening. Otherwise, that will hamper the effectiveness of the process. Therefore, communication is one of the most important things that involves both the speaker and the listener, sender and the receiver of the communication. People must acquire the essential characteristics that makes communication effective. This is the most powerful skill because 60% of the problems in today's world are because of poor communication, and therefore 60% of our problems can be solved only through effective communication. Therefore, this is an important thing. Conflict resolution. Many a time we have differences of opinion. That is the beauty of nature, beauty of the life. When there is a difference of opinion, we must sort it out through negotiations, deliberations, interactions, expressions, etc. Conflict resolution is one of the most powerful social skills. Basic interaction. Basic interaction means a smiling face can solve many problems. A proper salutation a proper salutation and communication can solve any type of problem. Therefore, how to interact with different type of people at different positions, different capacities is one of the things that we need to learn ourselves first and teach our students. Followed by that, team building skills. Team building is essential. A family is also a team. A classroom is also a team. Your college and classroom, staff room are all teamwork happening places. There, how to be in the company of others and how to think together are the basic things that makes our life comfortable. In order to be comfortable in our life and to make use of our education for solving the problems that we may encounter and to suggest others also to solve their problems, we need to acquire and inculcate proper skills among everybody. That is the need of the hour. If that is not there, we hardly deserve to be called as educated ones. Here is a list of all the skills that I have mentioned. Soft skills are the skills that are essential for developing and maintaining human relations in life. Starts from home, goes up to the society. As a member of the society, as a member of the community, as an employee, teacher, student, we need to use these skills day in and day out. That is the spirit and significance of soft skills. I made an attempt to give you precisely what it is.